Wait, who's advocating violence? I don't understand. Antinatalists advocate
Well,
violence?
Lots of
Yeah.
people are advocating violence. Even
Yeah, I
I've
know,
encountered
but
it IRL.
you're saying that AN people, if AN was on the rise, then it would be bad because it encourages violence. I don't understand that.
Well, they would be exposed to. I'm not saying all are doing that. I'm saying there are a vocal minority that do support that, and I could see it
Well,
doing more
violence against who?
harm.
Violence against parents?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's a bit extreme. I mean, I don't think parents should be. You should be hurt for having kids. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah, that
I mean,
come
like,
on, man. Just don't procreate. Stick with that. Don't try this whole thing of wanting to hurt parents. That's counterproductive. Just don't procreate. Just do your part, innit? But don't take it a step further by trying to hurt parents. You're just gonna make the community look bad, honestly.
Well. Oh God. Yeah. Okay.
Jeez, like really, you know?
Yes,
No,
really.
my energy.
Not just randos on the internet, but like people who establish or co-found international anti-natalist organizations support this proposition. So
And then others go on to defend it.
My thing is, if they hurt parents, then at the end of the day, it doesn't change those parents, bringing those children into the world. Like, it's not going to undo those children being brought into existence. So it's a waste of time.
I mean, it just makes the
yeah.
situation worse. If you hurt parents, then the kid's life is worse. You know what I mean? Like, if you kill someone's dad, the kid's life is going to be worse. So it doesn't really solve
well,
anything.
no, they're
to
saying
hurt
like
parents.
like a pregnant woman, they would cause harm so that the person doesn't procreate.
Do the
Oh, I wouldn't do that. But if I was in power, I would kind of like if I had absolute power, I would kind of force every woman to have an abortion. If I could just
There
write
it is.
that.
It is Hitman.
I'm not
That's
saying I wouldn't hurt
exactly.
them though. I'm not saying you should go beat them up. I don't saying you should go beat them up, but I kind of
Oh,
No,
would.
what
just
about
force
dude,
them to have abortions. Like,
dude,
taking their babies away without their consent?
dude.
They're not babies
I
yet.
would
They're
force
like
it. I
little
would
fetuses.
force. Listen to what you just said. You'd force every woman to have an abortion, but it's not violence. I mean, come on, man.
It isn't
That-
violent.
that-
It's,
Oh,
isn't, what's
brother.
violent about abortion? You just go, you take a pill, and then the baby's gone. There's nothing violent about it.
bro,
Wow.
There you go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
That's yeah. You guys are. I
TP,
gotta
do
say,
you see what I?
you guys are playing with fire because I
Yeah.
understand that TP and SG and Brother Marcus and several other people are completely reasonable, and it's just sort of becomes like a form of pacifism. But once things get too large, I see your concern, Brother Marcus, because once it gets too large, you're going to have an outer ring in your accretion disk that takes positions like that as a matter of routine. And then there's going to be something beyond that and beyond that and beyond that. And you're opening the door to a lot of crazy.
A few moments later.
You could also encourage other people not to have any kids. And that could reduce even more harm.
Yes, encouragement, not force, but encouragement.
Well, but I could force everybody not to have any kids, and that would reduce even more harm, as long as I don't view forcing as causing harm.
You're saying could. I mean,
What is the big harm in forcing people to not to get
Wait, hold
abortions?
on.
Like, it's just a pill. You take a pill and that's it. You know what I mean? It's
Wait.
no big deal. Like, if I
No,
had power,
TP.
I would certainly do that. I would 100%
That's
force
fine.
every single person to abort.
It is Hitman.
Violating people's bodily autonomy is often seen by a lot of people as not good.
Okay. So regarding
Damage to the heart
forcing
tissue.
people like to become sterile, like basically like forced sterilization, like now would I do it? No. And one could say that would cause people to become rebellious and even aggressive,
How about
due
just
to
that it's seen as a violation of bodily autonomy?
No, that's without question a violation. Yeah.
Right. So, but if you don't see that as bad, then you're reducing even more harm by so we could get rid of. You end up that the best way to maximize the harm reduction is for there to be nobody, right?
You want to talk about bodily autonomy and consent and whatever.
Oh,
You
Peter,
violate your kids'
Peter, just
consent
hold
by
on.
bringing them into this world. That's also wrong.
Peter.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Go, yeah, continue, Matt. So,
Okay. I'm saying it can lead in a direction if you don't acknowledge that these things, violations of other people's personal autonomy and bodily autonomy, are bad things. Then it just seems like more and more beneficial harm reduction, the fewer and fewer humans there are, until there's no humans, and then you've arrived at extinctionism. And it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to let's apply that to all the other species too. And now we're just sort of anti-life, and we prefer a situation where there's nobody of any species. And I'm not saying
there are ways of going about, there are ways of going about things regarding, encouraging others to not have children. But, like, would I go out of my way to force sterilize? No. But
sure, I know you wouldn't, but Peter sounds like he might.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because it's illegal, and I'd go to prison. I wouldn't do it because it's illegal, and I'd go to prison. But I'm saying if I was the president and I had the power to do it, then I would do it. Yeah, I would do it.
There it is, Hitman.
So yeah, go on, Matt.
That aspect of the conversation, because on the one hand I can see this sort of slippery slope, which is what I just laid out, and I know it's not fair to blame you guys that there's a slippery slope, but when I hear somebody articulating it, then I go, okay, it's not a slippery slope fallacy, it's an actual danger in the ideology.
It just depends who you're talking to.
Well, I know, but the fact that it exists makes me wary about, like, oh, would I support a political party that was associated with, let's say the Pirate Party was associated with antinatalism, or the Libertarians or whoever, then I might be disinclined to support you guys at the polls, because it sounds like antinatalism plus power has a huge risk that it will go off the rails, especially if somebody who's taking that position was charismatic.
Okay, what with all due respect, what point are you trying to make?
I'm trying to make the point that when I hear that aggressive, other people's rights ignoring version of this, it makes me disinclined to support you guys politically.
I see. No, I see. Well, all I can say is, they're not every antinatalist thinks that way.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. That's not the point.
But you've got these guys, you've got these people in your community,
yep.
and you're not converting them into your faction. Right?
No, say that again. You said I'm not converting them. What?
You're not. Okay, you've got these guys in your movement, right? So that tells me that you guys can't have political power. Okay. Because all it takes is that the most charismatic person in your movement is somebody who thinks like that, and all of a sudden you've got power and bad ideas, and people are going to get trampled.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
But I mean, as far as the
it's for the greater good. It's a bad thing to violate bodily autonomy or whatever, but it's for the greater good. Like, it's just it makes the parent, will make the woman sad, but it's for the greater good of this potential child that could come into this world. It's for the greater good.
Of going about it. I get your point, but there are other ways of going about it. I don't think that's necessary.
Anyway, you're talking about forcibly sterilizing women.
Well, just make that clear.
Not you.
It wasn't me,
you.
But yeah.
Yeah, of course. No, I understand, but I mean, like, what do you do when you have a community that has a faction?
Well, you're talking about forcibly bringing people into existence. Either way, you're forcing. Either way, natalist. Either way, you're talking about force, which is worse than forcibly sterilizing. That's worse. That's worse. That's way worse.